Thoughts and Meditations, page 222. August 18, 1914. Let me turn to Thee in a profound and silent contemplation. Let me place this integral being and its multiple activities at Thy feet as an offering. Let me stop all the play of these forces, unify all these consciousness, so that one alone may persist, the one which is able to hear Thy command and understand it. Let me plunge again into Thee as in a sovereignly beneficent sea, that which purifies from all ignorance. I feel as if I have gone down very deep into an unfathomable abyss of doubt and darkness, as if I am exiled from Thy eternal splendor. But I know that in this descent is the possibility of a higher ascent, which will enable me to span a vaster horizon and draw a little nearer to Thy infinite heavens. Thy light is there, steady and guiding, shining without intermission in the depths of the abyss, as in the luminous splendors, and a serene confidence, a calm indifference, a tranquil certitude dwell permanently in my consciousness. I am like a boat which has long enjoyed the delights of the port, and despite the dark, storm-laden clouds which hide the sun, unfurls its sails to launch forth into the great unknown, towards shores unheard of, towards new lands. I am Thine, Lord, without any restriction or preference. May Thy will be done in all its rigorous plenitude. All my being adheres to it with a joyous acceptance and a calm serenity. I have no longer any idea about the future. It is Thou who will awaken the new conception, more closely answering Thy law. In a most perfect surrender and a most entire trust, I wait, Thy voice showing me Thy path. August 20th, 1914. To see the goal from a new angle, which may usefully light up the others, we should constantly renew the experience of the inner discovery and return to the extreme limit of consciousness without at any time postulating beforehand what the end of our journey will be. But instinctively, the mind remembers the impression that it receives from one or from some of the former contacts of our consciousness with the ultimate center and tells itself, this is what one finds at the end of the road. It does not realize that that which is in its thoughts is only one of the countless ways of translating the goal or even of travestifying it, nor does it perceive that the intellectual conception should follow the experience and not precede it. To retrace the path in all innocence as though one had never before travelled it is the true purity, the perfect sincerity, the sincerity that brings an uninterrupted progress, growth, and integral perfectioning. Despite myself, in the silence of all thought, that is, of all conscious formulas, something in my being deeper than words turns to Thee. O ineffable Lord, in an ardent aspiration, giving Thee in offering all its activities, all its elements, all its modes of being, and imploring for all these the supreme illumination. O thou, whom I cannot think, but whom with certitude I know. August 21st, 1914. O Lord, Lord, the whole earth is an upheaval. It groans and suffers. It is in agony. All the suffering that has descended upon it must not be in vain. Grant that this bloodshed may produce a swifter germination of the seeds of beauty and light and love, which must blossom and cover the earth with their rich harvest. Out of the depths of this abysm of darkness, the whole being of the earth cries to thee that thou mayst give it air and light. It is stifling. Wilt thou not come to its aid? O Lord, what must we do to triumph? Hear us, for we must conquer at any price, break down every resistance. Appear.